Hey, welcome back to a new episode, guys. My name is Billy Holmes. I'm with Holmes High Riding Cycles. This time we have our disc brakes in for this 57 Chevy. Let's get it on. All right, so first let's go ahead and get these front rotors ready to go. We have brand new rotors, bearings, and the back seal. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you all how to grease these real quick. We're going to put the inner bearings in and then knock the seal in from the back side here, and then we'll be ready to move to the front. Went ahead, I'm just doing it old school way, just a big old blob in the hand. You have your inner bearing here. We're just going to go ahead and smush all of that stuff into the bearings using the palm of your hand. It takes a couple times to go around, then you'll flip it over and do the same thing. Basically, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to do this. You just want to be able to pack the grease into the bearings to where when you pack it down here, it comes out the top. That lets you know that it's full. Nothing new. Has been doing this for probably 80 years, 100 years, something like that. So go ahead and get this bearing packed real good. We'll get the other one packed real good, and then we will put it in and knock the seal in. All right, so we went ahead and got this bearing packed in. Looks pretty good. Like I said, you can see it all the way around. If I pack it in here, it comes out the top, same way if you flip it over, so it's pretty good. We're gonna go ahead and put a little bit on the race here on the inside. Drop that bearing in. And then I like to put a little bit more in the void right here before we put that seal in. Just kind of pack it around there where the bearing meets the race. All right, now it's time for the rear bearing seal. These can go in only one way, so make sure basically the smaller end goes in, that little flap hangs over the top. So a couple different ways you can install this. Just get it even, get your little hammer here, and just barely tap it around if you don't actually have like a seal punch. So now the inner bearing is going to be trapped in it, so you can lift it upside down and it's not going anywhere. So we're good to go there. And now we're going to turn around and we can do the outer bearings. Same procedure, just a little bit smaller. And then we'll go ahead and get it on the spindle. All right, so before we put the rotor on, we need to put these caliper brackets on. This is a CPP kit, so it comes with instructions, pretty easy. Okay, so here's the caliper we're using. We're gonna go ahead and mock this up because we're gonna have to heat up and bend the steering arm just a little bit in order to clear this caliper. This is a little bit tighter of a kit. It's made to fit 14-inch brakes, or 14-inch wheels, sorry. So everything's just a little bit closer, and that steering arm, they said, is gonna hit this just a bit. So we're gonna go ahead and mock this up, put the steering arm on there, see how much it really needs to be bent, and then go from there. All right, on the driver's side arm, it looks like we're not going to need to do any modification. It actually looks like it clears it. This one has been bent down. I don't know if that comes from the factory like that, or you know, through its life it had been heated up and bent just a little bit, but it's got kind of like a downward little swoop here. So I'm thinking we should be good on this one. I got the bolts in. The other passenger side, I was able to get the bolts in, but the brackets kind of laid back like this. So we're probably going to have to heat right here on the other arm. We'll have to heat this and bend the arm down just a little bit to clear right in here. But I'm going to go ahead and tighten this up, see if it clears this caliper, and if so, then this side's done. All right, we got everything tightened up. This one's going to be fine. We're not going to have to heat that arm up like I was thinking. Went ahead and torqued everything to spec, and you can hopefully see the gap that we have underneath there. That's what we're looking for on the other side, but the other side is actually hitting, so we are probably going to have to heat the other one up. But so I'll go ahead and pull this caliper off now that I know everything fits. We'll slide the little spacer on, the rotor, and then button everything up. All right, so we went ahead and got the passenger side all knocked out. We're gonna go ahead and spray brake cleaner on it here in a little bit, but everything went, for the most part, went on pretty smooth. The only thing that we had to do was the caliper. Once we had the brake pads and everything in there, the caliper wouldn't sit down. You could get one pin, but not the other. It was like maybe 1/8 of an inch from lining up. And what I realized is this pad here is this one here. It sits down in there. Well, these, the little metal piece here, were just a little bit too much on both sides, and it was bottoming out on this gold bracket right here. You can see, so that little black is basically brake pad there, and then brake pad there, and it sits flush against that gold bar, and it was just too much. It wouldn't allow me to push the caliper further in, so went ahead and grinded it and put a little bit of room in between it. It took about 1/8 of an inch off of these here, and then it bolted right up. So I don't know if I'm gonna have to do the other side the same or not, but no biggie. Everything's good. I went ahead and I'll spray everything down with brake cleaner, and then I haven't adjusted these just yet. I just went hand tight with them, but yeah, let's keep on going. All right, so until I can make it to town to fill up my empty torch tanks, of course, when I need them, I'm going to go ahead and install this power steering box so I can kind of map out what we're going to do with the linkages and stuff like that. It is brand new. It still has the plastic little plugs on it, but it has seen better days, as in, you know, condition-wise, dirt-wise, stuff like that. So we're going to clean it up real good, throw it on the car, and keep working. All right. Got this thing bolted up. Just gonna wipe down some of that old kind of just dirt and dust. Doesn't really have any grease or anything like that on it. Like I said, it's brand new. It just looks a couple years old, like it's never been ran. So that'll help us get our steering linkages going. One step closer to getting it down on all fours. There we go. All right, now that we got the power steering box installed, we're going to go ahead and move to tie rods. We have the inners and the outers. They are different size, so make sure that you put them on the right end. We went ahead and painted these sometime earlier in the build, so they're good to go. They are new, but we did have to order new adjusting sleeves. The other adjusting sleeves were just horrible, horrible, horrible. So we got new sleeves. We have the new little pinch bolts, clamps. We're going to go ahead and paint these and wait for them to dry, and then we can start installing these on the steering rod on the driver's side, and we'll have to wait, of course, on the passenger side until I can get that arm bent. So let's go ahead and knock this out. All right, so we went ahead and heated that steering arm up and bent it down. You can see, hopefully,
the clearance. Let's see, there you go. So we got about 1/8 of an inch clearance from the caliper. So we should be good to go. All right, so it's been about a week since we sent this thing off. We got it back from powder coater. Kind of sucks. It was already powder coated, but when we torched it, it destroyed it. So went ahead and got it repowder coated. Now we're going to throw it on and move on to the next thing. All right, so now that we got the disc brake mounted up, we are on basically all 4 tires. We're going to go ahead and mock the center link up and get these tie rods in so we can start steering it. So 2 things before we can mount it. I went ahead and bought a new old stock bushing for the center link here. The other one was trash, so found this one on eBay. I'm going to go ahead, take it over to the press and press that in. It is a really tight fit, so we'll go ahead and press that in. On this side is the steering link. This is going to basically be a ball and socket type fitment. It is not like a tie rod or a newer type pitman arm, idler arm type where it is a like a stud. It's not going to be that. It's basically there's a ball on the steering arm and this socket right here wraps around it. I do have the old ones here, but not sure if you can see that or not. They have seen better days, and I'm not sure how many miles this car has on it. There's really no way of knowing really how much wear is on this thing or how much wear is not on this thing. This thing could be, just really dirty and have 5,000 miles, or it could have 150,000 miles. So not really sure how to inspect that on the wear of these cups. So I went ahead and just bought a new set. Pretty simple. It comes with springs, it comes with these little studs here, and then this goes just like that, and you have 2 of them that pinch the ball, and then you tighten it up with the end cap here. So I'll show you a little bit more in depth once we get over there, but these are the 2 things that we're needing to do to get the center link on. That way we can go ahead and install this tie rod. So let's get this pressed in and go from there. So we got the bushing put in. We went ahead and we had to clean up where the old bushing was. So we did have to take some of the powder coating off right around where the bushing goes in and out. So once we got that pushed in, we went ahead and just sprayed some gloss black paint on it. And the bushing itself is raw metal as well. So we went ahead and coated that. Now it's time to get it on the car. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at these new little springs here. You can see the slot. Basically the ball goes in here and then slides up. So what we're going to do is go ahead, we're going to grease these up. We're going to slide this set of springs and this here, and then it'll be followed up by a little socket that'll sit there, and then we'll do the opposite, basically socket and then the spring. Then this end cap here screws onto the end. The ball will go in here, and then once you start tightening this, it'll start pushing it over here to the smaller. It's kind of like one of those picture frames that the screw goes in there and then slides up and then it can't come out. This also has a grease cert, so you can put the grease, hitting the camera there, you can put the grease that way. I'm just kind of basically just putting a little bit on there. We're going to go ahead and do the other side just opposite. So you basically want this cup to surround the ball, and then this spring and everything will sit in like this. And then once it's in there, then you'll go ahead and slide it down, and then tighten this down so it can't back up. So it's going to sit where this one is sitting here. This just uses the ball and the bigger hole to scoot over. So then once that's done, then this little dust cap fits over there and we're all good to go. All right, we've got the center link on. Went ahead and just bolted everything up. Did not torque the either arm down. Just put the washer and the nut on it. We'll wait till all the weight's down on it. Went ahead and did the little ball and socket that we were talking about there. Came with a dust cover. The dust cover was a little too big. It was kind of jangling everywhere. So I went ahead and just got a metal band clamp, put some heat shrink around it, and tightened it up. Searching the forums and everything like that, a lot of people have problems with those aftermarket dust covers just not sitting up against it. Whether it's the seal that they provide you, it's kind of like a foam seal that goes in between here. A lot of times they say that it's not the same size as factory. I think the factory ones are rubber. It may help hold it against it, but there's really nothing that clamps that little metal cover to the actual arm. So a lot of people zip tie it. A lot of people get some tape and stuff like that. I went ahead and got that metal band clamp, wrapped it in heat shrink, and it makes it just look a lot better. The end basically, like I said, screws in here, and the directions are out of the manual. Just tighten it until you can get a cotter pin all the way through. So I went ahead and did that. Ended up being sort of flush here, so it looks pretty good on this side. But that was the only thing that didn't really go to plan, was that metal band clamp. Got that done. We're gonna go ahead and install these tie rods that we got. I went ahead and painted these in an earlier episode and assembled them here. So go ahead and slap those on, and then we should have complete steering. Okay, and all the steering is now done. Got the tie rods on, the center link, and the steering arms over here. Went ahead and just tightened these down just a little bit. Not torquing them yet until we get the weight down on the vehicle, but yeah, everything worked out good. I cycled the steering left and right just to make sure that these adjustment clamps and the bolts and the nuts and everything clear. Everything looks great. I went ahead and just did a real quick alignment on it just to get them somewhat straight. And then, of course, after everything's said and done, we'll take it to an alignment shop. But we're going to wait to torque these things down until we get everything, like the engine and the hood and the fenders and the bumper and all that stuff, down on the ground. But it's all hooked up. It's all ready to go for right now. Everything's looking good. I'll show you what it looks like from the top. And there it is. You can see we got a little bit of clearance there. Nothing's gonna rub. I've cycled it left and right. It's pretty close to that little band clamp I put on there, but should not hit. Everything looks great. And that wraps up the disc brakes. All right, guys, and that's it for today's episode. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me. We're going to go ahead and call it good for today. We're not going to run the brake lines or the hoses just yet because we're going to put an LS in the frame rail, so that's not stock, so I can't buy pre-bent brake lines. So I got to get everything in there, see where we can run it, make it nice and neat, and go from there. So if y'all like this video, please like, subscribe, and y'all can check out one of these two videos here, and we'll see y'all next time.